All right. So we're back and we're talking about the age of Aquarius and the age of air, and it was getting real good, and everybody was starting to have issues the with the tech, with the YouTube, and behind on the Substacks and all that kind of stuff. We're gonna roll on anyway, and we're back. We are back. Okay, so let's just go ahead because I don't like chopping up stuff like that, and I want to be able to reel in what I said last time when I was talking about what age we're in, or what era, quote unquote, era from that we're in versus what it really is. Okay. So number one, I said on the last live, I believe, when I said that we're in the age or in the era of I know. And I mean, I am. And I really wanted to say I know. So I want to clear that up because we really are in a space and time where we're moving from I believe, because you can believe something and you're not sure. And this is why I feel like anxiety is through the roof for a lot of people, because people really are trying to have some control over their reality instead of understanding that they only have to allow their reality. Because when you think something and when you know something, it's true. And when it's true, it has to manifest. It has to manifest. Right? So we going all the way in today because business is air now. That's why a lot of people are trying to hold on to get you back in these seats because they don't want you to be free. Let's go. Let's go ahead and break that down. So, age of Aquarius is an air sign. It's an air sign. It looked like a water sign, but it's an air sign. And before I even go further, if it messes with you that I'm talking about astrology and you saying, I don't believe in that, well, baby, you're going to be behind because this is where we're going. And a lot of people's religion is going to fail them because while you're in I believe you're in the old age. Some of y'all are operating by a different paradigm. And people that are saying things like, oh, we living in the last days, you're right. We are living in the last days of an age. And I don't know why people don't understand that, but it ain't for me to help them understand. It's for me to just teach and let them go on because see, all this is going to be available for them when they wake up. Amen, somebody. Ain't nothing I can do about people like that. Because business is business. And like I said, my coworker said, business is business, bull is bull. And that's where we at right now. Okay? Because a lot of us are starting to wake up that this is all about air. Everything is digital. You right, coach. Everything is digital. This is why a lot of the stuff is going out, it's outdated now. Everything is dated out. That's why women are having a hard time. I really want somebody to love me. Why don't you love yourself? You missed it. You missed the concept. That's old. That's why I told everybody, you married, that's it. Anybody that's getting married right now is pure transactional. Pure. Because the economy is ugly. And a lot of people are getting married to have their basic needs met because they don't know how to do it themselves. And I don't care how you feel about what I just said. Wait a minute, coach. Do you have yourself together? Men too. I don't know why these women don't want to be wives. Are you a husband? I want to be a wife. Do you know how to take care of yourself? Do you have skills? This is it. Mm-hmm. You gotta evolve. I've been telling women for the longest, and they did not want to hear me. I said, baby, evolution is it. It's a lot of people that's gonna get married right now. I'm just gonna live my life, and you're gonna be divorced in 2 years because that person did not evolve. I know people right now got married 2, 3 years ago after the pandemic, and they already divorce court because they ain't involved. You got to evolve. 2020 was the time where everybody had to, you had to come to the table with skills and say, what we doing? Either we getting married because we building wealth together, or we getting married to have our basic needs met. And everybody, I don't care who you are, you got to have some conversations. Just like in business. Why are you in business? I don't want to go work for nobody. That's the wrong reason. If you're not in business to build astronomical wealth and participate in a global capitalistic system, you hear what I say? I ain't say capitalism. I said global, because that's where we're at. So if your income is going to be limited to local or state, I don't know what I tell you in the next 2 to 3 years, because all this is going to be hemmed up. And if you're a person that don't know how to build relationships, and don't know how to get your tail out there and pump that pavement, that's why I'm having a master class on the 30th of September about how to build a signature offer in the creator economy. A lot of y'all are behind schedule, and you looking buck-eyed, and you mad because now you got to get 2, 3, 4 jobs because you don't know how to evolve. Anxiety looks like the urgency to earn. That is a radical spiritual problem. Anxiety, you need to write that down. Anxiety, if I have anxiety, this is a spiritual problem. If I feel any bit of anxiety, I check myself on the spot. Wait a minute, what was that? I get myself together real quick. Wait a minute, hold on, Jay. What was that? Where are you straying off to? Because see, your mind is God. That's what you don't. Okay, I'm gonna prove it to you. Don't make me mad today. Cause see, y'all, you got too many things in between you and God. Even ChatGPT know that. Everybody know that, but the people I just really need somebody to tell me. No, you tell you. I just really need this. I'm going to this revival so this person can tell. You tell you. Air. Air. This is where attention, information, and revenue shape reality. Air means attention, information, and revenue. I'm being funny when I say that, but for real. But the systems that run this age measure everything by money. Speed and metrics. Hold on. That's only if you are operating by the system. I've been telling people, you got to get to a place, where you can manifest without money. You ain't even supposed to consider money. I'm trying to hold myself. Is you really supposed to get what you want without money? Because money automatically comes when you know what you're getting. So the client, or the love that you want, or the trip that you want, or the vacations that you want, or the life that you want, you're supposed to, the question of how am I going to get this should never ever cross your mind. You should never cross, how am I going to get this? How is that going to be done? How? Why are you asking that? You're in the age of air. What are you talking about? You just see it in your mind and wait for it to come. Decide. Y'all quiet right there. But coach, I hear you. And see, I need y'all to be interactive. Like, tell me what's up with that. Tell me why you can't grasp that. Tell me why you don't understand that. Come on, Tia. See, Sheena, she said believe in it. But we through with that. Believing is over. We're in the age of I know. See, y'all got to upgrade your systems, your internal system. I ain't saying the systems because see, everybody upgrading. Everybody upgrading right now. Tia said, yes, money is a medium of exchange. Listen, for the 3D, we should be beyond that now. You should be able to say, this is going to be paid. This is paid. And you going on about your day. Like literally, that's all you need to say. And you see it in your mind that it's paid. You see the zero balance. And see, here we go, Christina. She said, my actions need to align with my beliefs. And see, it's really about this, though. You got to know and go on. I'm a case in point. And I'm really saying this from a state of example. When I declared and decreed, because I chronicled this on my Substack. Those of y'all that follow my Substack, you know exactly what I'm saying. I said I write and teach for a living. Don't you know, ever since I declared that, stuff just been happening. Clients, people coming up in subscriptions, paying me for my writing, and then people scheduling sessions and scheduling. I've had people. I've been saying I am a writer and an educator, and I do that for a living. You got to declare. See, it starts in your mind first. I so I'm doing what I said. I'm doing what I know I am. So if I say I'm writing for a living, I don't start. I start writing because I'm a writer. A writer writes. A coach coaches. I got to find people to coach. I got to consult. So I'm gonna say I work as a consultant full time. Okay, so then now you got to find people to consult. I don't care if you got to do it for free first. See, a lot of people want you to get away from that because freedom gonna cost you something. And not only just that, Christina, she said, if I believe it'll be paid, my time is spent on the ways to make the payment come in. But see, the payment coming in, you just know. You ain't even gotta, and I want y'all to hear what I'm saying. I can sit here. This is really gonna mess some of y'all up because see, we got to divorce that. I got to do something. Because don't you know there are people right now that ain't doing nothing and still getting paid? I know people right now that ain't doing nothing and getting paid, and they just getting payments. That's a whole different conjuring. That's a whole. You got to be in another ram, 2 rams up to, to operate at that level. You are walking around as God, and things are just being handed to you. You just believe it. The payment always comes because you said so. Come on, Tia. I I said that. Because my job is to just in the embodiment of that. My job is not to worry if it's coming. My job is not to if I don't do it, I gotta do this in order for it to. Mm-mm. I'm in the embodiment of it. If I say I'm being paid generously for being a writer and an educator, my job is to be a writer and educator. The payment is from God. I don't have to. I'm being paid for what I for who I am. Please hear what I'm saying. If I say I'm being paid six figures to be a consultant, then I'm consulting. I need to find people to consult, stay my price and go on. And then wait, if they send me the invoice. I send the invoice, I'm going on to the next thing because I'm holding and embodying that I'm a seven figure or whatever consultant. Like I'm going on. That's why I told people if you want to be a writer, say you're a writer and you're being paid to write. Don't you know this is it? This is it. And I don't want to do nothing else. So anything outside of what I said I wanted to do is contrary to what I said I'm doing. So even people be like, maybe I can just go give me a part-time job somewhere. Is that along the lines what you said you were going to do? But I still got to do this. Do you not hear what age we're in? So now you're gonna get on that job and get tired, and then you go say, I had no time to write because you're not writing. They are the currency. Tia, you preaching. Okay, here we go. Let's just child. A lot of this stuff had to be put in place to keep you further away from your creative nature. Has nothing to do with being a man or a woman because you're supposed to embody both energies. I wrote a post this morning on Facebook where I talked about this guy's post on YouTube that said, if a man has been able to achieve multiple six figures in his life, if he has achieved getting the car he wants or the cars he wants, the homes he wants, does he still need a woman as his favor? Does he still need a wife as his favor? And people in the comments, say whatever they had to say. So I screenshot and put it on my Facebook, and I said, "Oh, a man like that doesn't have to have favor anymore because why? Because he's been able to properly actualize. He's been able to achieve both energies. Women had that same ability until women started giving up. A lot of women started giving up, like, I want somebody, I want somebody, I want somebody. But you're supposed to embody both energies. Tradition, quote unquote, because you need somebody in front of you. The system wants to put. I wish y'all understand that this has nothing to do with. It has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with what is right, what is morally acceptable, because morals are subjective. That's everything to keep you away from God and from you understanding how God like you are. Children are the closest thing to God. Did you know that? Do anybody know that? Children are the closest to God. This is why they're curious. This is why they're always imagining things. This is why they watch children. When I went to go see my nephew and niece, I was having kind of an icky morning. And you know what I did? I said, I'm going to see my niece and nephew today. Age 2 and 4. He just turned 4 this year. They are the closest thing. They're still, TJ. That mean I brought them little treats and stuff. And I was like, hey, boos. And I sat there and my sister went in the kitchen. She said, girl, thank you. Because can I do a little work? I'm like, girl, go do some work, honey. I'll sit there and entertain them. So they just talking, and my niece went to sleep in my lap, and my nephew just talking my ear off about his little games and saying what I mean, him just having a conversation. I felt so much better because children bring joy. So my sister was able to get a break, and I was able to entertain the kids while she went and did. So she was like, girl, come on over here, child. Come on over, because I ain't telling you was coming. So you observe children. Yes, Tia, absolutely. Quenisha said, yes, I observe my kids all the time. They just be in their own little world. They are the closest thing to God. It's backwards. See, men want to put themselves between you and God. It's the furthest away. And I don't mean to talk about men like that, but women are portals between the material and the spiritual realm. That's why you're after the child, physical in the physical world. Curiosity, then you know, I am, and then men are, I believe. You want me to tell you? Me? Okay, so the, the children come out. I know, I know they're very actualized. This is why they don't fear anything. Their fear is put in them. They don't come out sinful. They come out actually very actualized. We put it in them. Well, children lie. No, they don't lie. They're surviving. There's an adult that's 10 times bigger than them saying, did you put that right there? Did you touch that? Da, 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 da. Children like, no, I'm scared of you. You're yelling at me. That's why they make up excuses. If you listen to children, they 2, 3, 4 years old, they're like, no. I mean, you got an adult that's 10 times bigger than you with a little switch or a little belt time or something. They better tell the truth. They don't know what that is. They're children. They don't know. They're trying to, I don't know, or yes. And then they get a spanking anyway. Guess what? I'm going to do the opposite. Children are very smart. Children are very smart. That's why many times they understand before they can speak. Children know when you're saying sit down, and they can't say sit down yet. They know to sit. They're hearers of the word. They're not always, they're seers first. They can see angels. They can see beings. They can see things around them that adults can't see. The veil is very thin with children. That's what be like, what that child looking at? I remember my nephew, when his father passed away, he was still seeing his father. His father used to still talk to him before he went to bed. He said, my dad came visit me last night. Everybody like, what? What? I'm like, yo, his daddy came and visited him. Why y'all tripping? Well, we don't know what that was. And what do you mean what that was? It was his daddy. His daddy's another realm. He said, my dad came last night. I was like, what did y'all talk? So you know me. I understand the spirit, the spiritual realm. I said, so what y'all talk about? He asked me how was school today. I was like, really? That is so cool. I mean, just he had no reason to lie. He probably just dreaming. That's other people. He probably just dreaming. What does this have to do with anything? What does this have to do with business, Jay? You got to know and you got to see it before you actually receive it. You understand? So anytime your children saying that they saw something, y'all stop doing it to them. Stop saying that, baby, we don't know. I don't, This is what scares them out of seeing, because when fear enters the equation and the formula, they can't know the truth anymore. They get further and further and further away. And then they become you. They become the adults that are afraid to do anything. They know what they see. You just don't know. You think it's something that it scared me so bad. Why did it scare you? The veil is thin. The veil is thin for your own. It should be thin for you too. You should be able to see everything. You should be able to see all. Mm-hmm. Oh, Christina. Yes. Yes. She said, this reminds me of the telepathy tapes podcast that explores the consciousness and what that looks like from the perspective of autism, dementia, etc. This is why I told people I used to work in psychology. like schizophrenics and stuff like that before I went to HR years ago, years ago. And people used to be like, they see demons. And I'm like, no, not all the time. I said, they see things, they see beings, they hear voices and all of these things. Those are some of the most brilliant minds, in my humble opinion, that I think exist. When we think it's crazy, those are brilliant people that they'll tell you a whole lot of things. So if you got ADHD or neurodivergent and all this other stuff, consider yourself a brilliant brain. You're a brilliant mind. I just can't stay focused. Yes, you can. You just need to learn how to leverage it, and or talk to Christina. She's an ADHD coach, my client. Yes, yes. I mean, oh, and she said, Quanisha said, another YouTuber I listened to said that the Holy Trinity is the mother, father, and child. Absolutely. I had said that the other day. Is the Holy Mother, the Holy Father, and the Holy Child. You're made up of all of that. And see, a lot of these things are symbolic to also make things complicated, which is why you have the Catholic Church, and they put this priest and go into confession without you having to do it yourself. You confess and take accountability for whatever you've done and be able to get strategy on how to not do it again. Sin is just missing the mark of whatever it is that you say you want to do as far as destiny is concerned. Because when you sin, you miss the mark, but you're also supposed to be delivered from an old mindset, Christ consciousness, to put that identity back on, the crown chakra back on, to be able to identify with who you are. And you're supposed to do this all the time. You're supposed to be in that consciousness all the time. So when your business takes a hit, you get back into saying, okay, I know, I know. I already know. All you need is skills. I told people, as long as you know how to sell, you know how to build relationships, you know how to market, and other skills come as a result. You'll never be broke again. I don't care if it's $1. Yes, Christina. Let me see. Sue, I think everybody in their own right. It depends on what they see. Because some of them on the extreme. And sometimes they be seeing stuff in you. I've even said that to some a friend of mine who, because sometimes they be doing different ends of the spectrum. Some people are like cuckoo for cocoa puffs. Now we got spiritual immaturity. Now that's a whole different. Now that's something completely. That's not mental illness. That's just emotional immaturity. That's somebody who is stuck in a childlike state and so deep in fear that they can't see anything. Because I said spiritual immaturity is also emotional immaturity. But if you can't think for yourself, if you gotta have somebody over you to tell you what to do, that's a spiritual problem in itself. And I don't care what nobody say. That's a spiritual problem. I need to go back to a job because I just can't. I gotta have somebody. I gotta get a job because. So you mean to tell me you can't handle yourself? You can't tell yourself what to do. You can't tell yourself to put yourself on a schedule. Coach, it ain't that easy. Huh? Maybe if you would let go of some of this stuff that you acquired and learn how to live differently, then it's okay. Because you're gonna get on that job. Because told y'all creatives don't belong in 9 to 5s. You can't do it. You're going to get irritated. I'm not, and you can get mad out, but some people need a job. You're right. You're absolutely right. Those who are spiritually, emotionally immature need a job. And I'm not saying that as an insult. That's money is not God. We've made it God. You know, this is what this is about. You know, your entire existence is to prove that you know how to manipulate the system. Write that down. Your purpose on this planet is to manipulate the system. Write that down. I'm serious. Write that down. That's your whole purpose. That's why you're dense. And the more trauma that you've had, y'all gonna probably run after I say this. The more trauma that you've had, the more quote unquote opposition and oppression that was placed upon you, not in you, not what they said was your issue, and what you because that is all the more reason we ain't gonna never get ahead as women. We ain't gonna never get ahead. Even if you're married, you know you're supposed to manipulate your husband to get what you want. Did you know that? Now, see, everybody gonna be like, well, that's not nice. Okay. You're supposed to manipulate everything around you. You're an energy manipulator. That's what you're supposed to do. Everybody quiet. You're supposed to manipulate energy. I remember Dolores Cannon said that, and I never forgot. I was like, okay, that I need clarity on it. This was years ago. So I need clarity on it. What? You're supposed to manipulate energy. Energy manipulation. You change people's emotions. What is energy? Go back to energy. Christina said, I'm not sure I know what you mean by manipulate energy. You manipulate energy all the time, Christina. When you get people to say yes to anything you do, or anything that you propose, you manipulate people manipulate your energy all the time. When you're at the most basic level, I'm hungry. This is an example. I'm hungry. I'm driving down the highway. I'm parched. I have a decision that I have to make. I'm really hungry. I just need to stop and give me some real quick. You drive down the expressway. I'm hungry. The energy is what? Hungry. Hunger. I am what? Hungry. I'm embodying the energy of a hungry person. I'm hungry. My stomach, I feel like hunger starts up here. I'm driving down the highway and I see Burger King, I see Waffle House, I see McDonald's, I see Outback. And depending on how I look at time, how I look at my financial status at that current moment, I'm going to choose per that. And I'm be like, okay, I ain't got time for Outback. And everybody's saying, I want McDonald's. Children's telling you, I want McDonald's. Okay. So you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and eat McDonald's. I get to McDonald's in the drive-through. I get in line. Line taking too long. I'm mad now. So I go to Burger King. McDonald's just manipulated my energy because now I want something that I don't want to have to take so long. I'm going to Burger King instead. If I if I go, if I say I take a sales call, this person don't know who I am. Okay. They have a need though. So why did they choose me versus somebody else? Because I had an offer. And the offer really, 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 really sounded good to them. I sent them my proposal. I sent them my information. I sent them what they needed to make a decision. That what I sent to them and what I said to them on their call shifted them into saying yes. They don't know if I can get it done or not. They just look at my testimonials. They look at what I've done. They look at what I've said to them and how I can help them. I'm manipulating energy. I'm hungry, so I decide to go to McDonald's. Manipulation of energy. When my spouse says, "What do you want to eat?" Okay, I really want this, but then okay, well, I'm just gonna bring you, this, and then you get there and it's like, but I really wanted this. Why did you tell me that at first? So now you manipulated energy because you want that person to go back out and get you what you want. I'm being funny when I say that, but what I'm saying is you're always manipulating energy. The word manipulate is messing with you because you think it's an evil word. It's not an evil word. It's changing of energy. It's just changing. It's influencing someone. That's all you're doing. You're influencing someone to do something else that you want them to do. I want this person to say yes to me, so I'm going to say what I have to say and offer what I want to offer in my skill set to help them. To influence people or situations in a way that serves the manipulator. I'm the decision. When you're attracted to someone or when someone is attracted to you, they didn't been put under your spell in so many ways. So you get a chance to manipulate them. People get manipulated all the time, negatively and positively. What do you think people be asking? Like, how do I get a partner? How do I manifest my SP? How do I manifest my ex back? How do I manifest a date? How do I manifest love? How can I manifest my ex to come back? You're manipulating. In business, you turn a no into a yes. You turn an uncertainty into a yes. When you're anxious, it's easy for you to be manipulated. I'm looking at these. Tia said, "Thank you. Manipulation is a neutral word, just like energy is. Energy is neutral. I am is neutral. All you need to do is take the identification of God. I am God is neutral. That's why y'all need to do more meditation on that. You need to do more meditation on I amness. You need to get yourself into a neutral state. God is neutral. The God of, if you say I'm broke, the God of poverty has to bring you brokenness. It has to bring you poverty. It has to bring you everything around you to embrace poverty. If you say I am abundant and you are acquiring the skills to be abundant, then your world, God has to bring you abundance where you always in overflow. Where, like somebody just said, I think it was Quenisha said that I've been manifesting left and right because she has identified as I am God and I see only abundance in my reality. I'm bringing in abundance, like client after client after client after client. The world then starts to bring you that reality. I am is neutral. This is why people be like, well, I don't understand why God be doing things for them and not for me. Because you've manifested that which you have gotten because that's what you identify as. If I'm always saying how oppressed I am and how I just don't, maybe this is just my, and the devil has been after me. Okay, the devil is always going to be after you because God is devil and God is good and bad. God is good and evil and neutral. God created evil. We know that. See, a lot of people don't like that. God created evil. I mean, it's in the Bible that y'all anyway. So when it comes down to money, money is God. Not have no money and look at your attitude. Go to when the last time you ain't have no money. And it could be now. It could be now. And you're like, I need to make money. I need to make money. I need some money. Your attitude is horrible when you don't have any money. Everybody got quiet right there. You don't want to be around nobody when you don't have any money. But that's the awareness of not having it. That your awareness is in the not having it. When you have an attitude about not having money, guess what happens? You're paying more attention to the reality of not having money than you being the cause of you getting and obtaining money all the time. You backwards. You in perversion at that point. If you with me, you in perversion. Because if see, we think perversion is just nasty, is this sexual. Da, 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 da. No, 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 no. Perversion is also doing things backwards. So if I'm more mad that I don't have money and I'm more anxious because I don't have money, I'm in the 3D reality as opposed to being the cause and going back to I amness and saying, let me reset. Let me reset. Why do you think that we're going through a great reset? Christian nationality. That's all right. I said it right. Nationalism. Sorry. Christian nationalism is making a comeback. That means that Christianity is going to become an idol again. The country is going back to becoming the idol. That people worship. They got the great reset is not just financial, it's ownership. I've been telling y'all that for years. That's the great reset is happening. This ain't got nothing to do with all they're passing down. No, 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 no. They're going back to ownership. Because it's too many women by themselves. It's too many minorities by themselves and they prospering. No, we got to go back to ownership. It ain't got nothing to do with color. And you know what? Cornisha, she said the same YouTuber was saying that the real words of Jesus are about to come out because, see, I've been telling people for a long time, a lot of folks have been focused so much on Paul's words. And I say it's really a lot of people are Paulians and they don't even know it. A lot of people focus. A lot of people were Paulians because they kept you in a space of structure, in a place of this is what you got to do. Women are not supposed to be talking in the church. Now, when did Jesus ever say women need to shut up in the church? When did Jesus ever say that? Jesus ain't never told women to shut their mouth in the church. He said, upon this rock, I will build my church. Quenisha, you better preach on here. She said, what Jesus what Jesus can do, we can do. I'm reading it backwards. What Jesus can do, we can do. He was a channeler. And that's why he said, you will go. See, a lot of Christians ain't even hear this party. He said, Jesus said, you will go and do greater works than I. So what are we talking about? Even in business. Don't you know? Help me. Don't you understand that you can, and I'm getting back to this. This was a revelation the other day. I was driving, I almost pulled my car to the side and ran down the expressway. Baby, don't you know that you can make a list? And I'm putting this on the free wall, the free 99 wall. Baby, you can make a list of 5 companies that you want to do business with before the year is out. And before the year is out, you can close every last one of them. And you ain't even got to do nothing but reach out and just say, hey, I'm here. And God will take the rest. You literally can do that. Or you can just see them signing the thing. Y'all, don't get on my nerves today. You will go and do greater works. But are you saying that's magic? I'm saying that whatever you said that it is, turning nothing into something. That's what Jesus did, turn water into wine. You got to work with the elements. And we in the air, element. Good grief. Camille, you're in real estate. Don't you know you can doggone it? You can see somebody you want to partner up with, write it down and say, this is what we're doing. That's a decision. And it's coming record speed. When you say when deciding brings it in. I need y'all, I'm screaming and I need to calm down. Because it's going on the podcast too. And people can be like, I gotta turn her down because you will go and do greater work. See, they're gonna skip all that. They skip all that. Jesus is he's the greatest. I mean, depending on how you see the greatest, because you had Jesus himself say, you will go and do greater works. You will go and do greater works than I did. I'm just showing you the framework. I gotta get up. Woo! Baby! I gotta look at this again. I'm gonna look at this again for me. It literally, that's the framework. That was the framework. And that's why he didn't want you to go. That's why Jesus didn't want you to go and blab your mouth to everybody and tell what happened to you, because they ain't gonna understand. The framework was I am. That's why Jesus said you have to come as a child. Y'all, you got to come as a child first. It's bothering me that y'all don't understand that. I gotta become a child. I gotta go back to child. Not immaturity, but in being an I am. You got to go back to being the closest thing. You got to go back to being psychic. You got it. They're doing everything it takes. And I may have to put this behind a paywall in a couple of days, because I don't need nobody bringing no mess to me today. The child is the I am. Why do you think Jesus is the holy child? The mother is the I know. The angel told me that I was pregnant, that I'm gonna be pregnant, and I'm gonna conceive a child. It is done unto you as you said. The angel said you're gonna be pregnant. And you're gonna give birth to a business. And it's gonna be global known. I'm prophesying to somebody. It's gonna be globally known. And it's gonna be for generations to come. And you like, how can it be when I don't know what I'm doing? I don't have any skills. You gonna go and see Elizabeth, or you gonna spend some time with her. Cause see, she done been without a child and been asking for a child, and she pregnant with the one that's gonna usher in. That's your first client. This is all cold. This is all cold. This is all cold, baby. This is all cold. And then you got Joseph. Oh, why imitate men like that? I don't know. I don't know if this baby, I don't know if she's telling the truth or not. Now I got to bring an angel to you to sit you down and protect what you know and be ready. Because you're gonna have to set up the structure. Because when the baby come, we're gonna need the creative to be able to freely create and set up. So I believe that's why men don't have an attachment to their children until they see the child. Generally. Generally. Now, if they ain't actualized, they ain't gonna have no attachment. You see what I'm saying? That's why they said men believe the child is theirs by when it come out and they see the child. They don't have a whole lot of attachment to their child until the child gets here. What they say, mama's what is it? And dad is maybe. What is it called? I forgot the way that you say it. I know, I believe. That's why men don't always know until they get here. Mama's baby, dad is maybe. That's what I'm trying to say. Mama's baby, dad is maybe, because they know that the baby is there. You got to see it before it's seen. So I know is where we at. We just left, I believe. We just left there. Passean consciousness is, I am. You pay attention to the way time rolls, and you will understand how they mess with your time. I'm talking about the West. That's why everything is digital. They can lie to you whenever they want to. That's why everything is a lie now. The AI, everything is, they can put whatever they want out and you're going to believe it if you don't have any intuition. They can Photoshop anything. They can put a video together. And if you are not up on game, if you still in, I believe that was him, you're going to miss it. And I'm only talking in relation to actualization. Okay. And this is if they are healed and if they understand. So if a lot of people are performing, I just looked at Huntress comment. A lot of time the reason why they're performing is because of transactional purposes. But if we're talking about humanity, soul to soul, and that person is actualized and they understand how the systems work and they understand the protection and provision and being a person of honor, then it's going to be, I believe, but I'm believing my wife because this is what's coming. I got to be ready. The wife just has to take care of herself. The woman has to take care of herself while she's pregnant with the babe. What go back to Samson. This Bible study almost, even though I'm not religious. If you look at the story of Samson, The angel told the mother, if you know the story of Samson, go back and read just for your own purpose, for your own to see what I'm talking about. Cause see, you can read the Bible without being attached. I need y'all to understand that. I ain't reading that. Okay, but you can't read nothing in. If you can't read stuff without being, because I read the Quran, I read all of them. I want to see what all of them say. I'm nosy. But if you go back to the story of Samson, the mother was told to eat a certain diet because the child was going to be different. You understand? So there's some things you got to start taking in that's going to be different. Because the baby that's coming out, it ain't going to be like no other business. We're in a different, some of y'all being told to birth and being told to do something different, and you got to take it in a different diet. You can't do what you was doing in 2020. You got to, it's different. Hmm. Some of y'all birthing out a whole new thing, and this time you birthing out of I am. Cause see, you gotta believe and then know, and then I am. You know that, right? I know it's gonna happen for me because I already said what I was gonna do, and I already said who I am. And when you know something, and you know it to be, cause see what you understand, you do. That's good right there. Write that down. What you understand is what you do. Doing is a byproduct of understanding. That's why I said when people be saying, I'm learning, no, you're not learning because you're not doing. You're just knowledge gathering. You're just data collecting. Learning is doing. When I understand something, I do it. That's learning. When a baby horse is born, if they don't learn how to stand, my daughter showed me this video the other day. If the horse does not learn how to stand within 1 hour of its birth, there's a chance that that horse, that colt, that baby horse is not going to live. So do you know what the mother do? You know what the mother do? The mother horse pinches its butt with a mouth, like her teeth. She bites at their tail to get them to startle up and stand up. She does it, and she keeps licking off the stuff off the, you know, and she, because she wants that baby to survive. She don't want her baby to die. After an hour, she gets impatient and she be like, I don't think this baby, because I can't fend the baby and stay alive too. The baby is gonna have to just die, and I'm gonna have to just grieve and go on. But the baby, she is dead set on that baby getting it together, and it's something that the mother knows that. So she keeps biting on the butt to get that baby to stand up. That baby just has to learn how to stand up, and he can take it from there. And that's when they know that their baby is gonna be all right. It just needs to stand up. Even if they fall down after standing up, they just need it to stand. That means their legs are sturdy enough to stand on its own. But to know that baby is gonna be all right is after that hour. But I believe when I have that baby as a baby mama horse, I just got to get this baby to stand up. If I can get this baby to stand up, I know it's gonna be all right. Why don't humans understand that? The animal kingdom shows us a lot of information that we could really learn, and we just don't even understand it for some reason. You need to be able to survive that first hour. I believe about this business, but if I don't learn how to say it, I just need one hit. I used to tell my clients that all the time. You need that first hit, somebody to tell you yes, and you can take it from there. If I can get you to sell and close one client, you will never ever go backwards. So when people stop and they just say, I give up, what are you talking about? You giving up? You know how to sell. I always have to joke clients when they say stuff like, oh, I'm just going to go back and do this. Why are you going back and doing it? Why? I have to jolt you because you done went out of order. You know what to do to make money. Why are you going back? Because you tired? Are you kidding me? If you can close your first client, you can close clients, you can make money in any type of way. It don't even matter. It's just the fact that the matter is that you get tired of people. Some of y'all get so tired of people, and you're not understanding that people are wealth. Humans are wealth. Humans are holders of wealth. Why don't you get that? You're supposed to go. I am. You gotta be it first. And if you don't know how to be it first, then you gotta do it first. And then you borrow the belief of another person. That's why a lot of people hire coaches. I had to believe for you. That's why when people used to be like, Coach, I want to join, da, 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 and they be like, Coach, I need some support in this, or I need you to help me with it. Okay, you had to borrow my belief because you didn't have it. I had to make you do it first. But I believed on your behalf. I knew on your behalf you got this. Just go do this, and it's coming. I'm giving you the strategy and the framework, Jesus, and you go and do it. Go back and look at the story of Peter when he first talked to Peter. He said, throw your net out again. Ain't nothing coming. Throw your net out. I've been out here all day. This we said in this boat. I've been out here all day trying to catch fish and ain't no fish coming. Jesus said, throw your net out. I've been trying. He gonna make excuses. I've been trying all day. Throw your net out. He threw his net out. He had one coming in the net. Until Jesus said, do it again. Do it again. Peter had to borrow belief because he didn't see it. The action is in the doing, is in the believing. But Jesus knew because he was in the I am. But I knew that he was going to catch all the fish in the net and bring it up because I know who I am. He just needed to believe me. And he didn't know because he was already frustrated. And usually that's how businesses are birthed, through frustration. And then when he pulled that net up, all the fish was about to break the net. It was breaking. Then he said, I'm going to teach you how to be fisher of men. So now that I didn't help you to get your first help, you're going to know how to get more. Okay, I got to go. I got to get off of here. Subscribe to the Soul Readers, $19 a month on Substack. I got to get out of here. I ain't been on here too long. This was good. We're going on. We're going on. You're in the age of air. You can make money. You got to know who you are, and you got to know, and you got to be in the I amness. Bye.